There are some things in life you just can't avoid, like spilling ketchup on a white shirt, or that one friend who still uses Internet Explorer. But in the world of tech, it's the argument that just won't die: Windows laptops versus Apple Silicon MacBooks. And I'm here to tell you why, every single time. Apple's M chips just destroy Windows. No cap, no fluff, just facts. So let's start from the top. Apple's M series chips kicked off with the M1 back in 2020. At the time, people were real skeptical. Apple making their own chips? Sounds cute. But then the benchmarks rolled in. And yes, it was game over. The M1 wiped the floor with Intel's 10th gen chips, and even made some Ryzen CPUs look like they needed a nap. But Apple wasn't done. Now enter the M1 Pro and M1 Max. Bigger, better and meaner. More GPU cores, more RAM support and crazy good efficiency. Suddenly, creatives were rendering 8K video in Final Cut while sipping iced lattes and not hearing a single fan spin up. And what about battery life? Insane. Performance per watt? Off the charts. Then came the M1 Ultra, where Apple basically glued two M1 Max chips together and made it work like magic. That thing was a beast. Then came the M2 series. Faster CPU, better GPU, and even stronger neural engine stuff. And while Windows laptops were busy slapping on louder fans and bigger vents, Apple just kept refining its game. M2 Pro, M2 Max, M2 Ultra, each one a monster, and not just for a show. These chips were actual upgrades with real-world performance gains, no smoke and mirrors. Now we're in the M3 and M4 territory, with M5 right around the corner. The M3 chips brought 3nm architecture to laptops, something Intel and AMD still can't match across their entire lineup. We are talking higher single-core performance than most desktop CPUs. GPU performance that is legit, even for mid-tier gaming, and crazy low power draw. And Apple did not stop there. M3 Pro and Max were built to cross productivity workloads, video editing, code compiling, music production, you name it. And now with the M4 in the new iPad Pro and soon MacBook Air and Pro lines, we're seeing even more focus on AI acceleration and efficiency. The M4's neural engine is faster than some desktop GPUs when it comes to AI tasks. Apple's making sure they stay ahead, not just in raw performance, but in the future of computing. And these chips are passively cooled in the Air lineup. Let that sink in. Passive cooling, no noise, no heat, but still fast. It's like having a race car that hums like a Prius. And don't even get me started on the battery life. You easily get 15 to 18 hours on a MacBook Air M2 or M3. The Pro models? 20 plus hours depending on use. Try getting that on a Windows machine with an Intel or AMD chip. Most of them tap out after 7 or 8 hours, unless you're watching cat videos on YouTube in airplane mode. Battery life on M series MacBooks is just different. It's like they forgot what low battery feels like. Now let's talk performance. Apple Silicon is built on unified memory architecture, so no separate VRAM and no bottlenecks. Everything talks to everything else instantly. And it's not just fast, it is smooth. Final Cut, Logic Pro, Safari, Xcode, everything flies. Meanwhile, your Windows laptop might have raw power, but good luck keeping it cool and quiet when it starts chugging. And the fans, oh man. Most Windows laptops sound like they're about to lift off into space when you open Chrome with 10 tabs or more. And what about Apple? Whisper quiet, or just straight up silent. You can work at a cafe without people turning their heads wondering if you're mining Bitcoin. And yes, Snapdragon X Elite is trying to play catch up, and it's doing a decent job, especially for battery life and AI workloads. But it is still early. the ecosystem isn't fully optimized yet, and Windows and ARM is still figuring things out. Compatibility issues, weird app behavior, and performance inconsistencies are still a thing. It's like driving a fast car with potholes all over the road. And Intel? Yep, they have improved with their Core Ultra and Meteor Lake chips. They've finally got a decent integrated graphics and better power draw. But they're still not close in terms of efficiency. Same story with AMD. Ryzen 7000 and 8000 chips are beasts, no doubt. But when you put them in a laptop, you're sacrificing battery life and dealing with heat. It's basically like putting a V8 engine in a compact car. Impressive, but you're gonna feel it. Now let's talk about thermals. MacBooks don't just stay cool, they stay usable. You can be editing a 4K timeline, running plugins in Logic, and have 20 Safari tabs open, and your MacBook barely breaks a sweat. Try that on a Windows laptop and see how fast it turns into a toaster, and then throttles. And what about software optimization? Obviously, Apple wins again. Because they make the hardware and the software, Mac OS is dialed in. It's like driving a car built for one specific engine. Everything just works better. Windows has to support a million configurations, which obviously leads to chaos, bugs, crashes, and driver issues. You name it. Now let's talk money. Yep, we all know that MacBooks are expensive, no doubt. But you get what you pay for. You get longevity, you get updates for 6+ years, and you get a laptop that doesn't feel like it is aging in dog years. Try using a 5-year-old Windows laptop and tell me it doesn't feel like it is begging for mercy. A 5-year-old MacBook Air M1 still runs like a champ today. And repairability? Okay, Windows wins here. You can crack open a Dell or Lenovo and swap stuff out. Macs, not so much. Every single thing's glued in, soldered down, and basically unfixable without Apple's help. But for most people, they never open their laptop anyway. They just want it to work, and MacBooks do work. Ecosystem is another area where Apple dominates. If you have an iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, AirPods, your Mac just becomes the hub for everything. Handoff, universal clipboard, AirDrop, iMessage on desktop, FaceTime, it is all seamless. With Windows, you can try to cobble together something similar, but it always feels clunky, like taping a smartwatch to your laptop and then calling it integration. But let's not forget about the future. Apple's already working on M5, with rumors of even better AI acceleration, new GPU designs, and power efficiency that makes electric cars jealous. They are designing their chips for future software too. Mac OS, Sequoia, and upcoming Pro apps are being built around these capabilities. Snapdragon X Elite will try to keep up, but let's be real. Apple's been in this custom chip game for longer, and they are not slowing down. Even in gaming, where Windows has traditionally dominated, Apple is making moves. Metal 3, game porting toolkit, and developers actually starting to port games properly. It's not there yet, but it's not the joke it used to be. You can play Resident Evil Village or Death Stranding on a Mac now. It's still early days, but Apple is putting in the work. And with the M4 and upcoming M5, they're going to be pushing these capabilities even further. Another big thing, noise and heat under pressure. M-series chips simply don't sweat under load. You can open up heavy apps, do video calls, stream music, and run dozens of browser tabs without your laptop sounding like it is choking. Meanwhile, even the high-end Windows laptops with powerful Intel or AMD chips are often hot to the touch and sound like jet engines. especially in the thinner ultrabooks where cooling is limited. Let's not ignore the build quality either. MacBooks are tanks. They are slim but strong. Aluminium chassis, clean line, precise hinges. It's not just aesthetics. It feels premium because it is. Many Windows laptops have stepped up here too, especially from Dell's XPS line or Lenovo's ThinkPads. But across the entire board, Apple still leads in this department. Customer service and resale value, Apple wins that again. Say what you want about the Genius Bar, but Apple's support is consistent. And when it's time to upgrade, your old MacBook actually holds value. Try selling a 3-year-old budget Windows laptop. You'll be lucky if someone takes it for parts. So why do M chips destroy Windows every single time? They are more efficient, they run cooler and quieter, they deliver better battery life, they offer smoother user experience, they get longer software support, they are part of a killer ecosystem, they hold resale value, they are reliable for the long run. Windows laptops are catching up, and that is good. Competition makes every single thing better. Snapdragon, AMD, Intel, they're all stepping up their game. But for now, if you want the best overall experience in a laptop, Apple's M series machines are still the kings of the hill. Whether it's a student using an M2 MacBook Air or a pro editing Hollywood films on an M3 Max MacBook Pro, Apple has set the standard. Anyway, that is all I've got. Team Mac, Team Windows, whatever you choose, just don't use Internet Explorer. Please. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.